pandemic has been difficult on a lot of people in the past 2 years, but especially young people. The Glen and Kernersville communities remember and grieve the loss of Sterling Fair, a young man who had everything going for him, gone much too soon. Sterling Fair was a normal kid from Kernersville, but a kid with above average academics, athletics, and aspirations.
He was really, really smart, very, very skilled in art. He was like really good at drawing, really athletic. Everything that I put him in, he just kind of thrived. He just had it. And we talk about it in sports all the time. He had every tool a football player needed to have, especially at the defensive back position.
Sterling was enrolled in the early college program at Forsyth Tech. He was also a rising star on the Glen football team, and the college interest was pouring in.
If I remember correctly, I think Wake Forest, we had at least 75 letters from them. Harvard, a lot of the Ivy League schools, like almost every week we had at least 5 to 6 letters coming from somewhere.
COVID-19 postponed the 2020 football season to an abbreviated version in spring 2021, Sterling's junior year. The season was scheduled to start in late February. Sterling died by suicide in January.
The emotion, hurt, numb. I don't know if that's an emotion. I was just numb. I just couldn't. It's still hard to grasp. I got to see the entire album of Sterling's life, but I was hoping it was only a snippet, and that wasn't the case.
Sterling's life was a beautiful and dynamic album, and the last track left a lasting impact on those who loved him the most.
The one thing is definitely would be to love your kids intentionally and to hug them intentionally, like to sit there and hold on to them for a moment and really acknowledge their presence.
The kid that's coming from a home in which they have both parents, they're stable, they're doing well in school. I had relationships with them, but I didn't worry about them. They didn't get those calls, but they should.
Unfortunately, lessons don't lessen the loss, but an emotional embrace from an entire community helps to heal.
This community is something special. I didn't really understand what community meant until they all came together to give me the love that they had. I didn't understand what community, I really didn't know what that meant. You know, the dictionary doesn't really give the definition the way they did.
One example of that support was an SF decal for Sterling Fair, which the Glen football team wore on their helmets, so Sterling was always with them, still representing the team motto, deep water.
People say, oh, it has something to do with the water tower and all that. It has nothing to do with the water tower. It's just a way. Sterling was that way.
Sterling's legacy lives on through his family, friends, and football team. And those people he touched hope to make life a little easier for anyone else who's struggling.
If there is something that's bothering you, to make a conscious choice to talk with somebody and to know that you don't need to have a permanent solution to something that's a very temporary problem.
I have a saying now, rise and shine, face the glory, brand new day, brand new story. Whatever happened yesterday was yesterday. If God grants you another day, we can fix yesterday. And Sterling taught me that.
We thank Mr. Fair and Coach Stevenson for sharing those important messages. And if you or someone you know is struggling, please call or share the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. The number is 1-800-273-8255.